What's good, Joe? What's good, Real Talk Squad? This is Miles, and you're listening to Talking Miles Johnson, where we always keep it real. Guess what? I got no sleeves. I'm in a hotel. I'm in Egypt. I'm in Africa. I'm in the homeland. But what? The work doesn't stop. I was seeing some stuff on Twitter. I was seeing some stuff on Insta. I was seeing some stuff on social media. That I was like, I gotta be the one to defend my birds. I gotta be the one to defend my Sixers. Well, actually, I'm not gonna defend the Sixers. I'm actually gonna tear them down because the moves that Daryl Morey made recently pissed me off. And I then said that they're gonna make the finals. And now I don't know if they'll make the freaking playoffs. I was about to cuss. Sorry, mom. I'm not gonna cuss today. But look, I'm looking at the Eagles right now. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. We grinding, y'all. We grinding, y'all. I saw something that said if Justin Herbert was on the Eagles, they would have won the Super Bowl. I'm sorry to break it to you. They would have lost to the Packers. They would have lost to the Packers because what Justin Herbert would have done is that he would have turned the ball over multiple times in that game. But what did Jalen Hurts do that Justin Herbert can't do? Take care of the ball. And we know that the Eagles would have lost that game in the wild card round if Jalen Hurts turned over the ball. And let's just say by a miracle, Justin Herbert, who has a record of turning over and folding in the biggest moments, let's just say that against the Packers, the Eagles win. We know for damn sure against the Rams, they're getting spanked. They're getting spanked because that was definitely a game that whoever won the turnover battle was going to win that game. That's a fact. And what did Jalen Hurts do? He took care of the ball. See, here's the thing. I have a quarterback that he does not put the ball in harm's way. I will say it again. The Eagles have a quarterback that he does not put the ball in harm's way, and that's one of his greatest traits. Because y'all want guys to throw 50-50 balls, get all these passing yards, and turn over the ball. I would like a guy that plays conservative, but when he needs to throw that dagger, like what he did in New Orleans, I saw with my own eyes next to my pop. What happened? We damn near 40 balled the Chiefs, and they got 20 points in garbage time. Look, bruh, ultimately, I'm tired of these Herbert, Lamar, Josh, Burrow comparisons. We're talking about losers compared to a winner. They haven't won nothing, bro. All of these guys would trade their careers to get the career that Jalen Hurts has right now. Cam Newton, I don't care what he says. He would trade his career to get a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP. I don't care what he says on First Take, on ESPN. I don't care what he says. We know the MVP he really wants, what he really wanted, was the MVP in the Super Bowl. That's what it was. And so ultimately, I look at this stuff, bruh, and I say to myself, they're going to keep saying stuff. They're going to keep, just moving the goalpost. And one thing that really gets me upset about you Jalen Hurts haters that continuously move the goalpost is that before the Eagles won the Super Bowl, it was Hurts put up a lot of stats in the bowl. But what did he do? He lost. That's all I heard from friends, from family, from Cowboys fans. All I heard was, all right, who cares that he, quote unquote, outplayed Patrick Mahomes? He ain't win the game. Okay, cool. A couple years later, he gets his lick back. He wins, still puts gaudy stats, still puts a damn good stat line, still broke the rushing record in a Super Bowl once again. And now it's Well, he should put up more gaudy stats. Which one is it, bro? Which one is it, bro? Because I'm thinking about it, I'm saying to myself, y'all never gonna be satisfied. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm saying this too. Y'all never gonna be satisfied, and all that does, it just helps the Eagles. It helps Jalen Hurts. It helps Nick Sirianni. It helps all of Philly really feel like we're still the underdogs when we have the best team in the NFL. But when you say that Devonta Smith isn't better than Lad McConkey, I'm saying to myself, what drugs are y'all on? What drugs are y'all on? Lad McConkey? Come on, bruh. I'm not saying Devonta Smith is not even close, but it's not a conversation. It's not like, I'm sorry, it's not a conversation right now. I'm not gonna say like Devontae is like just so much better. It's not even close. I got some respect for Lad McConkey, but it's not a conversation right now. It's just not. Because rookie Lad McConkey played with a Justin Herbert that was more far along than what Jalen Hurts was during Devontae Smith's rookie year. And we know that. This is Hurts in 2021. This is Herbert in 2025. It's way different. The circumstances is way different. One guy in Lad McConkey is a wide receiver one. Devontae Smith is a wide receiver two. Still putting up wide receiver one like numbers. So I'm not trying to hear the Devontae Smith disrespect. Let's stop this stuff. All right. And speaking of wide receivers, let's talk about AJ Brown. Uh, I got some stats on AJ Brown. I did my research today. I was in the lab today. I was cooking up today. And tell me why AJ Brown is not the best wide receiver in the game. Because I got the facts to prove it. Now, I've been hearing some CD Lamb comparisons. That's not even a debate. AJ clears, not even close. I'm looking at the 2024 stats, right? AJ has 34 less catches, but more touchdowns than CD. He also has 4 more yards per route or per reception. He has 4 more yards per catch and only 115 less receiving yards. Think about that, y'all. So AJ Brown has 34 less receptions than CeeDee Lamb. AJ Brown is averaging 16 yards per reception. And he's only 115 receiving yards behind CeeDee Lamb. So one could assume that if the Eagles were not the team with the fewest passes in the NFL, that they were middle of the pack. I mean, hell, AJ is going to have 1,600 yards, 1,700 yards, 1,800 yards. Another thing, too, I'm not trying to hear that Jamar Chase is better than AJ Brown. I'm not trying to hear that. Because the thing with Jamar Chase, he's an all-world wide receiver. I ain't trying to take credit from him. I'm not trying to discredit him in that aspect. We know Jamar Chase is a top 3 wide receiver in this game. But what we do know is Jamar Chase is schemed open way more than AJ Brown. A clear example was when the Eagles faced the Bengals, and what happened in 2 instances. The first instance, it was a great move. They strategically matched Jamar Chase with Nolan Smith in the red zone. And you're talking about a linebacker versus a wide receiver as Jamar Chase caliber is night and day. He gets that touchdown. But then later in the game, they tried to pick out Jamar versus Coop, and Coop locked his ass up. The thing with AJ Brown is he is not schemed open. He's not. Now, some of that could be at the fault of the coaches because it shouldn't just be on AJ Brown, but AJ Brown is asked to just be Superman. One-on-one, you're the best wide receiver in the league. Go get yours. Get it. Whether it's a go ball, a slant, post route, whatever it is, go get yours. I don't see AJ Brown get schemed open the way that Jamar Chase gets schemed open. And that's a big reason why, if I had to pick one or the other, I'm picking AJ Brown, because I know if I just line up the cleats against any cornerback in the league, I know for a fact, whether it's Trent McDuffie, whether it's Jair Alexander, whether it's Christian Gonzalez, I don't care who the hell it is. AJ Brown's gonna win that matchup, y'all. We know that, bruh. And the only one is Justin Jefferson. If you want to say Judge is the best wide receiver in the league, that's cool. But AJ Brown got himself a chip. AJ Brown is off 3 consecutive years being an all-pro. And we know what Jettis is. And I'm not trying to, again, same with Jamar Chase. I am not trying to take it away from him. It's more just showing the brilliance of AJ Brown. I got some more stats for y'all because I'm not done. And you can put this in your group chat, send it to your auntie, your cousin, your dad. Maybe your dad's a Cowboys fan like my dad. You can kind of troll him right now. AJ Brown is the sixth wide receiver since 2018 to have 0 dropped passes in a season. And he has the highest yards per game with 83. That's amazing. He honestly had, if you really think about it, AJ missed 4 games. The Eagles passed the ball the fewest out of any team in the NFL. He still racked up over 1,000 yards. You could argue that this was AJ Brown's most productive season given the amount of targets and receptions he got. That's not crazy to say, because if he plays in those 4 games, if the Eagles pass the ball more, if Saquon Barkley isn't so all world that you don't have to pass the ball as much, you know AJ Brown is at least getting 1,400 yards. And guess what? That's 3 straight 1,400 yard seasons, bro. This guy is legit. He's legit, bro. And they talk about he has the most broken tackles in the league since 2018. So AJ Brown not only doesn't drop the ball, but you can't tackle the man. He's unguardable. And you talk about this man talking, he was saying something about like, I gotta figure out a new chant for like my new touchdown, right? And I think he was like 1K. I like that, but I like AJ. I like that one, bruh. And when he busts Trayvon Diggs' ass week 1, what are we gonna say? AJ. AJ. Stop playing, man. Stop playing, man. We're not playing this season. We know we're gonna put belt to ass all 2025. Shout out my line brother because he graduated Morehouse College and they had a celebration, or not a celebration, but their commencement. And it was a unique commencement because they literally had everybody say their first and last name, their major, any honors they had in the mic. Like, it wasn't the president or the provost or whoever. No, it was the actual student. And it was guys at Morehouse that made accomplishments that were lifelong, amazing, and they took advantage of the opportunity. And my alarm brother went up there and said, we're putting BTA all 2025. And the Eagles are putting BTA all 2025. Put that in the comments down below, bro. Shout out my man Ethan Getz. I'm gonna send this to him. And let's talk about the Sixers real quick. Real quick. I know I said that the Sixers are my pick to get out the Eastern Conference. Now, we know that the Eastern Conference is extremely weak. Tatum's out. We'll talk about the Celtics. The Cavs are frauds. I'm not really worried about a team led by Donovan Mitchell. I don't know how far. And then again, Donovan Mitchell, he just engaged to Coco Jones. I'm going to be an even bigger hater of him. But shout out to bro. Shout out to bro. Shout out to bro. That's another story of another day. Got the Bucks, but Dame's injured. They're not doing much. The Knicks, like, they'll be nice, As a black man, I'm rooting for their coach, Mike Brown, but I don't really see like them doing something drastically different from what they did last year. Maybe they'll just rest some of their starters more in the regular season, but I don't see them doing something drastically different. The Pacers don't got Halliburton. Again, I'm looking at this and I'm saying the East is wide open. But Daryl Morey's recent moves have made me reconsider whether or not the Sixers are my favorites to get out the Eastern Conference. And a lot of this ties back to his idiotic decision to pay Paul George a 4-year, over $200 million contract just after we got off the Tobias Harris contract. Now, why is this now biting us in the ass? Because Daryl Morey, who loves star power, signed Paul George that the Clippers, his hometown team, they wasn't going to pay him that. But Daryl Morey did. Because the Sixers did that, now Gershon Yabusele, he goes to the Knicks. Now Quentin Grimes, are we going to re-sign him? Do we got money for that? But I'm looking at this Sixers team. The only good move Daryl Morey made this offseason was drafting VJ Edgecombe. And I'm not sure if Ace Bailey wasn't acting like a complete idiot or his camp wasn't acting completely idiotic that the Sixers would have drafted VJ Edgecombe. Now, that was my pick from the jump, but I don't know if they was going to pick him. But that was their one good move. I'll give Daryl Morey that. Outside of that, the Sixers re-signed Kyle Lowry. Again, I'm trying my best not to tear down Kyle Lowry because he's a Philly guy, Villanova guy. He means well, but he's old as dirt, bruh. He's old as dirt. I'm sorry. Father Time is undefeated. You re-sign Eric Gordon. Look, Daryl Morey, it's not 2018, bruh. The Houston Rockets, it's not that no more, bruh. Re-sign Andre Drummond. I've like woken up out my sleep from nightmares from Andre Drummond. I thought he would actually be nice this year. He was an abomination. You re-sign all these 3 old heads that can't defend and were primary reasons why we were flat out ass last year. And again, you don't address getting a power forward. Now we can hope that Bona, that he goes off. But this Sixers team is going to be overly reliant on an aging Paul George and an injury-riddled Joel Embiid. So let's just say the Sixers are healthy come playoff time by a miracle. Paul George and Joel Embiid to get the Sixers to the playoffs and get them to be a top 4 seed, they're going to have to exert a lot of energy in the regular season. Does that mean come playoff time, they get tired, they get burnt out? That's the question. We don't know, but history tells us it's not on our side that will happen. So I think the Magic, frankly, I'll put them over us right now. Yeah. I like our guard play. And here's my thing, bro. If we drafted VJ Edgecombe 3rd overall, why are we prioritizing Quentin Grimes over Gershon Yabusele? Gershon Yabusele, I don't know about y'all. I love immigrants. I love immigrants that play ball because they got hunger. They got that eye of the tiger, my dad tells me. They got that dog in them, bro. I'm the bros, bro. See it on my skin, dog. I'm a dog. I can see a dog from a mile away. All y'all hopping on the VJ Edgecombe train. We was on that in May. Talking about he was on a generator. We knew that. He from the Bahamas. Come on, bro. Like, represent his country. Gershon Yabusele, I worked the Olympics. I saw this man cook for France. And then with all the pressure in the world with him this season, he balled out. But you let him go to the Knicks. So now they get to make the Sixers worse and then add more depth in their front court. You see what I'm saying, bro? Like, it's like, what are we on right now? So I'm trying to be positive. I know that VJ is gonna be a star one day, but it's just like the depth that the Sixers have, these old heads that they sign, is not good, bro. I like Justin Edwards. I think he'll be better than Ace Bailey, but these guys are super young. I don't know, bro. I think not signing Gershon Yabusele was a huge mistake. It was a huge mistake, but guess what? It stems back from signing Paul George to a $200 million contract, and he's old as dirt. So again, y'all know how I feel about the Eagles because I'm just happy. I smile from ear to ear about them. And again, last week I was positive about the Sixers. I've been on a roll. I've been on a high with VJ Edgecombe. But these recent moves from Daryl Morey just pissed me off, bro. And we're going to have Keith Pompey, the Sixers beat writer, on later this summer, talk about the moves. I want to ask him about the Gershon Yabusele stuff, Quinn Grimes as well. And so we'll get all the clarification on that. But we'll see. We will see. But like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. We are in Egypt right now, Cairo to be exact. I was at the pyramids. I was riding the camel. Great vibe with the family. We'll be back sooner rather than later to get y'all this content. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. It is Real Talk with MJ, where y'all know I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.